For the 5th year in a row.
For over a decade, the Super Series has gathered the strongest men from all around the world for his series of spectacular strength shows. Sometimes we take them to great indoor arenas like for the World Finals in Gothenburg. And then sometimes we go to top-notch resorts like here in Bucharest. Wherever we go and take them, this still remains the ultimate dream for every aspiring strongman around the world, the Super Series.
It once had. The magnificent People's Palace is a stark reminder of times past, but it also represents optimism and hope as the capital welcomes a new event for this sporting city. So let's meet all of our strongmen. First up is Latvia's Rolands Gulbis, the Balkan. Then Daniel Stanku, don't know much about him, a real newcomer. Then a real legend, Jani Virtanen, former world's strongest man from Finland. Johannes Arhu, Sweden's strongest man, he could be a threat. Next is American Kevin Nee, always a danger, but is he fit? Another American is Marshall White. He bills himself as the strongest mortician in the world. Another USA man, Nick Best, the oldest man in the competition, comes from Las Vegas. The youngest man next, only 18 years old, Paul Pojal of Romania. Then the giant Brian Shaw, former basketball player, now a very good strongman. Then Stojan Tojachev from Bulgaria, Bulgaria's #1. Tamo Mit from Estonia, he calls himself the Mountain. And finally Romania's Mircea Pajol, the very proud father of...
For over 10 years, the Super Series has gathered the strong all around the world and put them together in spectacular strength shows. 2009, we're bigger, better, and stronger than ever. And we're in Bucharest. We've been all around the world, and we're constantly getting up and better. The athletes are getting up and better. We will be starting out this show with the Apollon Axel, the new prestige event of the strongman sport.
First up, we saw Daniel Stanku, only 126 kilos. It looked very awkward. Rolands Gulbis, 141 kilos, just over 300 pounds. And Stojan Tojachev, 161 kilos. That was good. Then we saw Tamo Mit with exactly the same weight, displaying quite good technique. Mircea Pajol as well, 151 kilos. Disappointing start for him. So just over 400 pounds on the bar now. And the youngster, Pajol, 18 years old. Looks every inch a strongman, I can tell you. He's got a massive chest. Now this is going to be a fascinating confrontation between those men who are left in this competition. Anything over 400 pounds is absolutely superb, and we could see a new world record. But first, Johannes Arhu of Sweden, up to his chest. Now, can he get it above his head? Of course, that is crucial. He's only got 20 seconds to do it in, presses it out, and that is good. 181 kilos. That is an absolutely massive weight. Big points for the Swede. So what can Kevin Nee do? He's got problems with both biceps, possibly an elbow as well. This is going to be a real test. And I don't think he's going to get it up like that because this is not a rotating bar. I tell you what, I think he's going to be out of time as well. No, surely. Yes, the clock has run out, so Kevin Nee's best attempt there, 171 kilos. And Marshall White of the United States, so much taller than Kevin Nee, as you can see. This makes it difficult trying to bounce it off his legs as you would do in a weightlifting competition. This is about as close as you can get to a proper weightlifting competition in strongman, but he can't quite do it. He's not going to have time to try it again either. So 171 kilos for Marshall White. Well, the bar will go up surely for Nick Best. He looks every inch the weightlifter. Good technique, but he only gets it as far as his stomach. The oldest man in the competition, how much puff has he got left? No, a little shake of the head there. So another man on 171.
And it's time for the 18-year-old young Romanian
so Pajol
and follow the young rising
Goodness me, 18 years old, and he's already competing with some of the best men in the world. Oh, this is fantastic. He's got to be one of the strongest teenagers in the world, that is for sure. Little squat underneath, and that is superb. That is going to be hard to beat as well. And Dad gives him a big, big lift in the background. Well done. What a father and son team we've got here. Now Brian Shaw. Big, tall man. Could have a little bit of difficulty getting it all the way up to his chest. That's a two-part lift there. Up to the knees, up to the stomach, and look at that. So strong. Surely he can go further. Could even break the world record.
186.
Well, already we're asking for an extra weight here. 186 kilos, and this would be a new record for the Apollon's axle. Johannes Arho of Sweden. Tell you what, being Sweden's strongest man is an absolutely wonderful thing to win, because they have got some of the strongest men in the world. So this guy has come here with a real pedigree. Now can he do it? He's got it up to the chest so far. 186. Oh, just down. Well, anguish on his face there, but he can finish no lower than third, so it's still very good points for the man who is #1 in his home country of Sweden. Well, the announcer there calling for the youngest man in the competition, Paul Parjol, to come back out onto the stage. His father's best lift, 151. I wonder if there's a little side bet going on here between father and son. I'll tell you what, though, Dad has coached him well. And again, this time way over 4 pounds. 186 kilos. Now, come on, Paul. It's up to the chest. This is absolutely magnificent. He's got good technique as well. Oh, just lost it. Just lost it. So Paul Pajolo, 181, and the crowd will like that one. Now then, a new world record beckons for Brian Shaw. One of the tallest men here, which makes it a disadvantage, but his upper body is immensely strong. He's got absolute rocks for arms. Now he's got it halfway. Can he get it all the way up? Yes, he can. A new world record, but more importantly here in Super Series, maximum points in the first event. Absolutely brilliant. That is a super start for the American. Terrific display there, and everybody else recognizes he is definitely #1 here. No problem, just a little lockout required in the end. Superb.
Brian Shaw, you said that size does matter coming to this competition. You proved it right. 186 kilos. Did you think that was going to happen?
Oh, yeah. I knew that that's a good event for me. You know, I've got a very good grip, and the overhead's been coming up for me a lot. So, you know, I knew it would be a good event. We got, like you said, Johannes is you know, very good at that. And, you know, the young Romanian, geez, very, very impressive. You got to give props where props are due, for sure.
Thank you very much. You're all film stars.
Well, certainly the crowd are impressed, and so they should be. That was a terrific performance by American Brian Shaw. Maximum points, more importantly, a new world record. And Johannes Arhu and Paul Parjol of Romania, they tied for second place. Join us after the break for the next test these strongmen have to face, the Husafell Stone. Welcome back to the Super Series. Well, as you can see, the post-communist days have been kind to Bucharest. It is certainly recovering well, and it certainly is a centre of history and heritage too. As far as our strongmen are concerned, well, what do they do on their day off? Well, they go and pull heavy things like a 30-ton truck. And watching is Ulf Bengtsson, a founder of the Super Series and a former bodybuilding champion. He actually used to train with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
You know, Super Series first time was in year 1999 in Stvanich Davis Cup Stadium in Prague, here in Europe. So it's been on for now 10 years, yeah?
And during that time, you've brought it all over the world, TV markets everywhere?
I think Super Series has been the innovation and the renewal of strongman sports entertainment. It is definitely sport, but it's a lot of entertainment too. And I think Super Series, by being the first one that teamed up with Arnold Classic, Arnold Schwarzenegger in Columbus, Ohio, that was the first one that did the strongman of Venice Beach, California, or went into Madison Square Garden, New York. So I think Super Series is the leading, is absolutely the leading tour of the world, is a tour that puts strongman on a new level. I think when people really understand the commercial value of strongman, then it's going to happen. Really, if you ask me one question, why do I believe in strongman? I just tell you, if you're looking at the audience, which is growing all the time in the Super Series live events, look in the eyes of the children and the women as well, you see that this sports entertainment product, this strongman Super Series tour, attracts a lot of women and children. And I think that's the future of the sport.
The next event is the ancient Icelandic feat of strength, the Husafell stone, or as they call it, the Husafell stain in Iceland. It's from the legend of the blacksmith who kept the stone outside his house, and if you wanted help from him, you had to carry it around. If you couldn't do it, his woman would come out and show you how. The Super Series way is that you simply pick it up and go as far as possible. It weighs 180 kilos. The Husafell stain.
Roland Gulbis was the first up. The Latvian there only recorded 12.94 meters. Then Daniel Stanku, he was even shorter, 9.11. Then we had Mircea Pajol, the old fella, 8.2. Jani Virtanen, normally a master of this event, he got to 40 meters. Then we had Brian Shaw, who went into the lead, 47.68. So Estonia's Tarmo Mitt now, as we go in pairs. And he's up against Stojan Todorcev, Bulgaria's strongest man. And Brian Shaw, the American, of course, has the lead at the moment, 47.68. That's over 2 lengths of the course. And grip is so important. I'm not sure he's got it high enough on his chest. Almost staggering down the course. I just wonder what's wrong with his right leg. And look at this. Todorcev is going absolutely steaming past him. Tarmo Mitt has got a bit of catching up to do, but this is not a race. It's how far you can go with this giant Husafell stone. And that's the important thing. Now, Brian Shaw's lead is under threat here, 47.68. I think he's going to go past it. He's heading towards 60 meters. This is absolutely terrific. And Tarmo Mitt goes down, 41.13. Nevertheless, that is good. And he's over 60. Todorcev goes to 62.42. That is absolutely superb, and that will take a lot of beating. But he has broken the stone. So what do the organisers do now? My goodness. And so we've had a casualty. It's not a strong man, it's a lump of concrete. Well, next up, and first up, and only up, is Paul Pardajol. We're going to have to go in singles now because of that broken Husafell stone. I'm not sure that Paul will have tried this event on too many occasions. He needs to get a better grip. And that was certainly a magnificent performance by Todorcev at 62.42 meters. Now, I know this guy is young. He'll have a fresh pair of lungs. I just wonder how much strength and endurance he's got in those massive arms. His father's just running alongside him. He's up to 40. So good performance. He's going to score well here. Look at that. He's almost hanging on by his fingertips. My goodness, 180 kilos the stone weighs. That's close to 400 pounds, but it's going. It's going. Now, come on. And the organisers there making sure it's not dropped and cracked, because otherwise that would be the end of the event. But that is 57 meters and good enough for second place. Oh, big blow there from Paul. Well done. Well done, son, says Dad.
As a Romanian audience, I've seen feats of strength around the world.
Little wink to the crowd there. He's a great favourite here. Johannes Arhu of Sweden now. Now, I've seen this guy do the Husafell stone in the past, and he's very, very useful. Just wonder how he's feeling now. Look at the difference in the grip between himself and Paul Pardajol. He's got a good grip there. He'll have his hands and arms covered in the sticky stuff, the Venice Terps, to make sure he's got absolute maximum grip. Tell you what, I'm not sure even if that Husserl stone did crash to the floor, those small tyres would be any good for anything other to make the Husserl stone bounce around a bit. But this fella's coming up to 60 metres now. I wonder if he can challenge Todorov. He can, he goes past him. The Swede is now in the lead. 65 metres, just over. Absolutely magnificent once again. Sweden's strongest man is #1 here for the time being. Well, here we go with Nick Best of the United States, and he's already seen what a terrific standard has been set. But this guy's got very, very long arms, an absolutely massive chest.
And he's got a lock, and he's got the
and away we go.
And he's off down the track.
I think the thing about Nick is that's impressed me so far is just how mobile he is.
He's going to be trying to pass those,
just taking small steps. There's no point in overstriding, otherwise you're going to lose your balance.
Former powerlifter,
leaning back so that some of the weight is being taken on the torso and on the chest too, but that's staying down. Nevertheless, the United States man just keeps going. If he can get to the end and turn, he's got a real chance at winning this. Now come on, he goes past second place. First place is 65.2. He's going to beat it. He's got it. That is his best performance so far by far. Goes over 70 metres. 77.1 in fact. Wow, that is superb. And the Americans have always been good at the Husserl stone. It does take you a long time to recover from this event, though. He's looking absolutely shattered. Well, Marshall White, another American, is up next. Let's find out a little bit more about him.
Looking for the lock.
All these guys are well-known top-end strongmen. That's what the Super Series is all about, is bringing the best together to fight it out. So yeah, I've competed with most of these guys before, and I know the ones that I haven't competed with, so yeah.
We do a cut off to 60 feet safe.
Oh, I feel pretty confident in this. The first couple events are good events for me, so I'm pretty confident I can make the cut this time.
So if you do make the cut and you're one of the top 6 people, you'll get to Venice Beach.
Right.
You've been there, but have you competed there before?
No, I haven't competed in Venice Beach Super Series before, but I'm pretty excited about that because, of course, once you hit Venice Beach, then you get to go to Gothenburg, Sweden, which, if I got to do that, that would just make me very happy.
Well, Gothenburg certainly is a beautiful city, and Marshall White gets away, just having a bit of trouble with his grip at the beginning there, and that doesn't bode well for the American. He seems to go back on song. I must admit, I'm surprised he's just wearing ordinary training shoes. Certainly they're very light, but I'm not quite sure how much grip they give. You wouldn't want to be in his shoes, literally, if that went crashing to the floor and hit your toe. And he's losing his grip. This is not good news for Marshall White. He's doing everything he can just to stick those fingers together. And that Husserl's getting lower and lower, 180 kilos, but he's going well, and this spells danger for everybody. It's another American who's done so well at the Husserl stone. Goodness me, can he turn once again? Yes, he can. Wonderful stuff. That is brilliant. Maximum points for Marshall White, a massive 83.8 meters. Wonderful stuff. And that certainly will give him a lot of confidence heading off towards the next few events.
And we will be moving on. Marshall White winning the second event. You're not surprised?
Actually, I am a little bit surprised, to be honest with you. I haven't trained that event in like 5 months, but obviously tenacity works, so just keep going.
There were a lot of really big men. I don't mean big heavy, but big as in long arms and all. They should have done better, don't you think?
I would think so, but you know, this event is different for different people, so just keep plugging away at it, and apparently that works out for me, so I'm gonna keep doing that.
Well, certainly Marshall very confident after that. 83.8 meters ahead of Nick Best and Johannes Arhu of Sweden. So the overall situation after 2 events, it means that Johannes Arhu moves into the lead, but only 0.5 of a point ahead of Marshall White, with Nick Best in 3rd place. Well, so far in Bucharest, the atmosphere has been terrific, the scenery has been superb, and the competition has been fierce. Join us after the break for more from Super Series. At the moment, Well, the commentator's curse really has put a dampener on proceedings. The rain has been absolutely hammering down, and that has certainly put paid to any competition in the foreseeable future. So disappointment for the spectators and for the competitors as well. And I understand one of them has got an injury.
The start of the show has been absolutely, but unfortunately for some, bad news just keeps coming. Kevin, what has happened to you?
Well, I had surgery about 5 months ago on my right bicep, and I thought I was going to be ready today, and it turns out I'm not. The axle clean just absolutely tore up my bicep, and it wouldn't be smart to go on. My ego was telling me to keep going. I want to keep going, but if I want to be smart and have any chance at Worlds this year, or making it to Venice Beach, or making it to Sweden as well for the Super Series Championships, I got to be healthy, and hurting myself even more isn't going to help that cause. So the goal is to make it to Sweden this year. Hopefully I can somehow get invited to Venice Beach and make it to the Super Series World Championships. And like I said, I can't do that if I'm not healthy.
So a big disappointment there for the American. Not too much of a disappointment with this hold-up for the spectators. Most of them standing under cover, but it is still drizzling, and that is going to make life very difficult for what was going to be a power medley, but has now been restricted just to a farmer's walk. There we have the equipment, and a lot of drying out to be done, that is for sure. Two giant 160-kilogram weights have got to be lifted. Daniel Stancu of Romania could not even shift them. Neither could Mircea Pajol. So the old fella having a difficult time. Roland Gulbis, he was a surprise. He couldn't lift it either. Jani Virtanen, the old man of Strongman, he could only shift it a little bit, so will score points. But still the rain is coming down, and that is going to make life very difficult indeed for this farmer's walk, and particularly for Paul Pajol. His body language is not particularly good at the minute. Stojan Todorcev, he can't wait to get on with it. So just making sure the grip, of course, which is paramount in this one, is absolutely solid. And that is it for Paul. He doesn't move at all. But Todorcev there is going great guns. This is going to be a very quick time indeed. Over the line, well over the line. And in fact, his time of 12.15. Super, super fast.
And finally, we'll see a blast.
Well, Brian Shaw of the United States will have seen what Todorcev achieved just a few moments ago, and he will be impressed. Nick Best, I think he fancies his chances here. There's the man with the grey beard just out of camera shot now, Odd Haugen, who's an absolute legend amongst these strongmen here. He's refereeing this event today. But Brian Shaw, almost at the top of the leaderboard. If you can get a good one here, it could be very, very good points, well, for one of two Americans. But at the moment, it's Nick Best who's coming away. Best is flying. Oh, Best has gone down, so it's a chance for Shaw, but Shaw drops them as well. 160 kilos in each hand, and he's over the line just 12.0. That's just short of the lead. And Brian Shaw, well, a little bit slow, but he finishes the course too in 20.18. Good effort by this fella. Very good effort indeed.
In the second place. Nick Best came in second.
Arms aloft. He's competing well. He could be a threat.
12.50 with a drop, and you're in just behind Todorcev.
Yeah, I shouldn't have dropped it. It was good. That's my favorite event. So.
Really, really heavy, though?
Actually, heavyweight, no. Awkwardness, yes. It's so round and it rides on your thighs. It constantly moves in your hand. When you do a farmer's, you want it to be smooth. And those things are jerking all over the place. That's why it comes out of your hand.
Which means that at the moment, the lead...
Well, one more heat to go, and there's a young man in it called Marshall White of the United States, who's competing so well here in Bucharest. And the crowd just waiting for these last two to appear, along with Johannes Arhu. But Marshall White is the man that everybody here is going to watch. I wonder how his chances against the Swedish #1.
There is a cut after 6 events here. Do you feel safe?
You're never safe when there are as good competitors as there are here today. So you can never feel safe, but hopefully I will make the cut, and that will be enough for me to manage to go to Venice Beach in California. And if I manage top 3, it would be awesome to make it to the finals in Gothenburg this year. That would be a real dream come true. So
Very many people say that you're the very best to come out of Sweden since Magnus Samuelsson. Do you agree?
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Is it within your reach to win the World Finals in Gothenburg?
I could win it.
Well, you certainly got to have confidence if you're going to do well here. But it's a cracking time of 12.15 by Todorchev. And I'm not even sure that the Swede can do that. This is the equivalent of carrying a motorbike in each hand, if you can believe that. You've got to be so strong. Your concentration has got to be solid. Your grip has got to be magnificent. And 21.24, not good points for the Swede, but certainly a lot better than this fella. Marshall White is really struggling here, asking the referee, how long have I got left? He's got plenty of time, but has he got the grip and has he got the strength? The answer is no. And that is a huge disappointment for Marshall White. He'll go down the leaderboard after that. Well, the rain is certainly beginning to come down a lot harder now. It's all right for some people, they're undercover. But the organisers here are having a torrid time trying to keep this course clear. It's going to be very interesting to see how the referee for the event, Odd Haugen, feels about progress.
We're here with Odd Haugen getting ready for the next event. It's gone from blistering heat till rain in just a few minutes, and it's the Super Yoke with over 400 kilo. Odd, how's this going to work?
Well, this is a bit of a challenge, but these are strong guys, and if you're a strong man, little rain doesn't do anything.
Yeah. This is also the last event before the cut. 6 guys get to go home after this. Isn't that a bit cruel?
Yeah, I've been there.
So pretty awful conditions for Daniel Stanku, just over 0.1 of a metre. Tama Mitt was actually moving, but it didn't even come over the start line. While conditions underfoot certainly haven't improved for Marshall White, it could potentially be very slippery. So let's hope Paul Pajol gets this underway safely, and a long way too. So Marshall White immediately goes into the lead. And this is very good indeed from the American, my goodness. Paul, on the other hand, is not going so well behind. That is a very quick time, 11.56 for Marshall White. He was almost sprinting. That certainly makes up for a disappointing farmer's walk. Paul Pajol, slow and steady. That's the order of the day. His dad's in the background, and he will be delighted with 25.97. Good effort by both men. Now Stojan Todorchev has been going so well. This Bulgarian is absolutely flying, and hopefully he'll go well alongside Brian Shaw of the United States. This is a real head-to-head, but the Bulgarian is off to a cracking start. Watch the clock. This is going to be terrific. Oh my goodness, 9.07, and Brian Shaw not too far behind him, so that is first and second place in that heat. And those two guys have set a very high standard indeed. Well, Todorchev absolutely sprinted away there. Remarkable standard set in that event. Jani Virtanen just having a word with the judges. Former world's strongest man, of course, and Roland Gulbis, he's up against this giant Finnish competitor. And Virtanen's got to go well here. After this event, the field of 12 will be cut down to 6. So he's got to finish strongly, and he gets away well. And Gulbis, of course, he's already out of it. But Virtanen there, absolutely flying. This is a good performance. Not as good as the last heat, struggling over the line. But that should be good enough. 17.32 for the Finn. Now, come on, Gulbis, let's have this successful. And a finishing time, less than 30 seconds if possible. Oh, a real struggle there. Almost buckling over. 31.17 for Roland Gulbis. And he'll be outside of the top 5, and Virtanen may well be in that top group of 5, so he will be absolutely delighted. Yes, a good finish there for the Finnish competitor.
You looked a bit worried before starting, but there was no real reason for you to be.
I'm worried because, okay, I'm too old and platform is not so good. It's very slippery. And this is my good event, and I think that somebody walked 10 seconds.
You think somebody will do 10 seconds?
Yeah.
Who?
I don't say. Sorry.
Janne Virtanen, the legend of strength of Finland. Number 1, the current leader of the competition.
Well, Todochev it is who still leads just under 10 seconds. But the figure of Nick Best of the United States getting ready. Johannes Arhu as well of Sweden. This should be a cracking head-to-head. But Nick Best from Las Vegas, another roll of the dice for him to see if he can win this Super Series event. Certainly well on his way. Oh, what a great start. And the yoke there is just swinging a wee bit, but once again this guy's got magnificent legs. Oh my goodness, 8.88 seconds ahead of the Bulgarian. And this fella's up there too at 14.31. But Nick Best at 41 years old, my goodness, he's just getting better and better and better. That was superb again. Long strides and perfect balance. That was the perfect recipe.
You said you're just glad to be here and you were along for the ride and whatnot, and now you're kicking butt.
Yeah, well, I've always wanted to come to Romania, so this is a great opportunity, and I just want to get qualified for the Super Series and the World Championships in Sweden, so I'm just excited to be here.
Well, I think this young fella's going to have to grow a bit before he can take part in Super Yoke. The results, though, were fascinating. 8.88 seconds by the American Nick Best. He's really flying. And Jan, the Finn, former world's strongest man, down in 6th. So overall, it's Nick Best, Brian Shaw, Johannes Arhu, Todochev, White, and Virtanen who go through to the last 2 events.
We're down to the final 6 athletes, and next up for them is the crucifix. It's called this because of the position they stand in, but also because of the excruciating pain that shows up in your shoulders. What you do is you get a Viking sword weighing 19 kilos in each hand, and you hold them out to your sides as long as possible until your shoulders finally just give up and want to quit. We have 2 Americans leading the pack, chased by the young Swede. Let's see who wins when they come out. Actually just 0.25 points. At the moment,
Odd Hagen just telling the competitors exactly what they want, and he will watch to make sure those arms are parallel to the ground. And even for the likes of Todochev here, the Bulgarian, this hard. You really need to block out the pain that appears in your shoulders and those upper arms as well. Anybody who gets over 30-odd seconds in this has got to be considered to be super, super strong. And so far, Todochev is going pretty well. Just short of 20 kilograms each, these swords weigh. Oh, his left arm, as we look at it, is going down. He's over 30 seconds, though. Bending just a little bit, and there he goes, 32.32. Very fine performance indeed. Congratulated by the referee there.
And it's not up to the 2 leaders yet. 32-32.
That is going to be hard to beat. So the first time a lot of these spectators will have seen these sort of events before. A shame about the weather, which has deteriorated, but that won't affect the concentration of Brian Shaw. Perhaps at a disadvantage here because of his long levers. He's very tall, in his upper body. You just saw the weight of those giant swords just pulling his arms down, so he has to get back up into the parallel position pretty quickly. And Todochev's time, well, over 30 seconds, as I was saying earlier, that is truly remarkable. The elbows have got to be locked. You can't lean back too far, otherwise you go as well, and that is 23.69 by Brian Shaw. So he's in 2nd place in this event so far, but the top 4 are yet to come. There's the overall leader. Well, Nick Best smiling at the moment, but in about 30 seconds time he's not going to be smiling. That's when the pain really starts. Well, you may have noticed on our scoreboard that the points had been reduced, and that was in line with the rule that said when the field has been cut from 12 to 6, the points will also take a reduction to make the gaps smaller and therefore the competition. So Nick Best, he's trying to chase that overall lead of 30 seconds plus. We're beginning to struggle already, and that is down. That is only around about 23 seconds, so that is Nick's worst performance by far in the competition so far, and that could be significant at the top of the leaderboard. Well, even a greater disadvantage, I think, for somebody like Janne Virtanen.
And he's on the
He's
line.
2 meters tall. He's got an amazing arm span and taking a very wide stance there to make sure he's balanced. I remember when he won World's Strongest Man, he was absolutely magnificent. But I don't think this is an event that the Finnish legend is going to enjoy. Remember, the lead is still held at over 30 seconds. But Virtanen pretty solid at the moment, just taking a little look, asking Odd Haugen if he's okay and what the time is. And this is going pretty well for Janne Virtanen, just scraped into the top 6 by 0.25 of a point, the smallest possible margin, but he's going well. One last effort, but 38.84, the old campaigner is in the lead. And who would have guessed that? Well, certainly experience counts for a lot in this competition, that's for sure.
Marshall
White now, having a little smile. Last chance to relax before the pain really sets in.
Here we are,
but it's Janne Virtanen who's in the lead, 38.84. And once again, I will say, this is going to make life very interesting at the top of the leaderboard. And Marshall White just having a look across at his left arm there, perhaps holding it a wee bit too high, and he's got to make sure that he keeps his arm straight too. That one looks suspiciously bent at the moment. Odd Haugen is taking a close look at what Marshall White is doing, but approaching 30 seconds. Struggling now, but just hanging on for those extra few seconds that could make all the difference. The right arm is getting low too. He's getting close, he's getting close. Oh my goodness, 38.35, that is only 0.5 of a second behind the leader, Janne Virtanen.
Just behind Virtanen. He has
so close this competition is. Johannes Arhu of Sweden now. He's certainly somebody that could win this competition if he produces something special here. We've had 2 guys over 38 seconds so far. Marshall White, the last one, and Janne Virtanen, of course, the leader at the moment, at 38.84.
Just so calm, holding it up.
Well, I've seen this guy a few occasions this season, and he just seems to be getting better and better. But this event, well, you can never predict, just by looking at a man, whether he's going to do well. Fix hold. Oh, he's beginning to struggle already. I don't think he's going to hang on for another 10 seconds. It's gone, 32.64. So finishes well down, being congratulated by Odd Haugen. But look at this, 38.84. The old campaigner does it at last, wins his first event ahead of Marshall White and Johannes Arhu. But despite that win, Virtanen still stays down in 6th place. But look at the scores. Anybody from those top 5 could win this event. So it's all come down to one of the great traditional last events in Strongman.
We've been through 5 events, and it's the final one coming up. We have only 6 athletes left, and it's so close. There's never, ever been a scoreboard this close before the final event. The man who wins the stones will win the competition here in Bucharest, and it's so intense, you can taste it. Anyone can take it away.
Well, Janne Virtanen of Finland used to be the master at this event, but how much has he got left in a body that has seen more strongman competitions in the past than most of these guys put together? Here we go, the 5 stones on top of the plinth, and that last stone nearest the camera, a massive 206 kilos. That's over 450 pounds. But Virtanen, so well suited to this. He's tall, he's got incredibly long arms, and I think more importantly here, well, he's the most experienced by far. But he would have to win this, and some of the other competitors would have to have major mishaps if he was going to win the overall. And I think he's agreed this last stone could be just a little bit too far. Even some of the officials are having a laugh. No, that's it. So his score, 4 stones in 26.8 for one of the greatest competitors there's ever been. So the course now being reset, and this really is a thrilling climax. Any one of the next 5 competitors could become the Super Series champion here. Can Brian Shaw do it? He needs to get all 5, and he needs to be very, very fast indeed. Odd Haugen gets things underway. I remember seeing Odd Haugen competing in Strongman, aged over 50 years old. I think even he would be impressed with Brian Shaw, who really is flying here. But I guess it all depends on the last stone. Gets that one up. He too is ideally suited for this Atlas Stones competition. But can anybody shift this stone weighing over 450 pounds, 206 kilos? Taking his time. This has got to be methodical, technically very good, and of course super, super strong. That's good. Well done, Brian Shaw. 38.94. So it's game on.
Brian Shaw, can we talk to you?
That was massive. It's over 200 kilos, and in the end he made it look easy. He's number 1 for the time being.
And we just want him over here. I believe you're the 5th man in the world to actually lift that stone. How did it feel?
It felt too light, honestly. It was dirty, so I had to try to get some tacky on my hands. It's dirty. It's tough. It's tough, but you know, I just got King of Stones award last weekend, so against some of the best guys in the world too. So I expect myself to do that.
The Bulgarian champion.
Well, it goes without saying now that if anybody wants to be champion here in Bucharest, they've got to go faster than Brian Shaw for all 5 stones. So Todachev hasn't got massive legs, but he's so athletic. Been very impressed with this fella. Oh, just made a little mistake here. We've seen in the past that Strongman Series competitions can be won or lost with a simple little mistake.
And let's see the big one.
Now, come on, let's see the big one fly up there. He's got a bit of time. Brian Shaw, 38.94 to beat. But Todachev here just struggling a wee bit. This is the big effort he needs. He hasn't quite got the balance or the grip. I'll tell you what, he's running out of time. So Brian Shaw, I think, is going to stay top dog for the time being. And Todachev, I think, will just have to be side with 4 stones. His chance of becoming champion here have gone out of the window. That sticky stuff takes a heck of a lot of cleaning up afterwards. But for this sort of event, it's absolutely vital to maintain grip. But Todachev finishes 4 stones, 16.95. He's not going to be the champion.
And
this was his undoing. Solid rock. He couldn't lift it. Nick Best of the United States. Oldest man in the competition, oldest man in the final. And been going so well. He's in a very good position. 3rd place overall before this event. And he can win. It all depends on this event here. 5 stones, so important. The speed, the balance is important. 2 to go.
4th one's coming. It's a big stone, that too.
I think he's a little behind Brian Shaw in terms of that 4th stone. So it all depends on this last one. He's not as tall as Shaw, so his levers are a little bit shorter. That could be a disadvantage. Now, come on, you've got less than 10 seconds to get it. He's got to get a grip here. This is good. This is good. It's excellent. Nick Best goes into the lead. 35.78. And Brian Shaw has been deposed into 2nd place. It really is game on here.
Nick Best, you beat Big Brian Shaw. That's lifting stones.
Yeah, kind of scary, huh? But Marshall's coming up. Marshall's good too. So everybody's world class. So anybody can win at any given day.
So you're not home safe now?
No, there's 2 more guys that are really good still to go. So
let's hear it for American Marshall White.
Well, America, the USA are certainly well represented in this final group of 5. And Marshall White has seen what Nick Best did there. That stone from Best absolutely flew up. But this guy, I tell you what, he's really motoring. That's the fastest so far for 3 stones, I'm sure. And the fastest for 4 too. So Marshall White has got a real chance here. If he can win this event, of course, he would be champion. It all depends on this stone.
Come on,
Nick best time 35.78, and that is going to be beaten. Oh my goodness, only one man to go. Gives Odd Haugen a real big hug there. Be careful with our judge, Marshall, he's very precious. That was brilliant, and that could be a winning performance overall. That was precision. That was perfect by Marshall White of the USA.
It is the final man to go.
Well, if some of the spectators haven't seen Strongman before, they certainly know what it's all about now, and they know how exciting it is. Just one competitor to go. Johannes Arhu of Sweden. In the next couple of minutes, he could become our Super Series champion here in Bucharest. It all depends on this performance. After the blow of the whistle, away we go. And this has got to be one of the best performances of Johannes's life. The Swedes, well, masters of stone lifting. Magnus Samuelsson used to be the best in the world, and then this guy has taken over as #1 in Sweden. Is he going to be #1 here in Romania? He's running out of time. There's only 6 seconds left. And the crowd are just wondering what's going on. He couldn't get his grip right. He's lost it. And that, I think, means that Marshall White will be champion. So Johannes Arhu there trying to do this for pride. He does it. He's finished 5 stones, 37.69 seconds. But this is not the winner of our Super Series. Marshall White wins here in Bucharest. That was superb.
White, and what do you feel going out to the stones?
I'm stoked. I mean, feel going into them? Yeah, obviously it was a tight race. It's going to be hard to beat Brian and all these incredible athletes, but I'm a good stone lifter. I was pretty confident in it, so it came out in the end. Happy.
Well, we always knew it was going to be down to the last event, and I don't suppose many people expected Marshall White to go through the way he did. 28.5, he absolutely flew down the course. So he is the champion. 1.5 points ahead of Nick Best, with Johannes Arhu of Sweden in 3rd.
And not only are you now clear for Venice Beach, you are also clear for the World Finals in Gothenburg.
I'm excited about that. That's what I came here to do, was not only go to Venice, but to go to Sweden as well. And I've done it. I've done my job. I'm happy.